Good afternoon, everyone. I am Corinne Braxton, and I am coming to you live today. What is today? February 24th already, and I'm coming to you live from Boca Grande, Florida. It's about 70 degrees here. It's a beautiful day. Let me just check my, while people are trying to get on, let me see if I can find myself on my computer. Let's see what's here. Oh, there we go. That's good. It's always nice when things work. There we go. I thought we would have a little time today to do some crafting. I'm going to show you a couple new products, and we're going to talk today about the starter kit special. But while people are coming on, let's see when's here. I'm going to have to. And if you're watching the replay, you can always fast forward through some of this. I always appreciate thumbs up, comments, sharing is always great, hearts, all those things. When you subscribe, that's super, then you're notified too. Good afternoon, Linda, coming from Ohio, Idaho. Good morning. We're in Idaho, Linda. We used to have a ranch on the Salmon River. But we live in Montana, and in Bozeman, Montana, but we're here in Florida for a couple of months, and I am recovering from my back surgery, major back surgery. And so anyway, I'm glad we came from Montana. It's not very snowy there this year, but it's fairly warm. And but anyway, there's still snow and cold and all that kind of stuff. I couldn't be outside walking, but I am, my surgeon wants me to walk a lot. And so I've been able to do that here almost every day. You save the video to rewatch. Okay, great. Super. I will be putting all of the measurements for the cards on YouTube. It'll be under more. Good afternoon, Anne Louise. Good to see you. You're from Wisconsin. It's always fun to see where you're from. So tell us where you live, if you can. Anyway, so I'm in Boca Grande, Florida. It's a Gulf Coast, and it's about 2 hours from Tampa, 2 hours from Fort Myers. That's where we would fly into. So thank you for the thumbs up, all those things. It's always nice when you share the video to your friends. Please ask questions today. That's what I'd like you to do. Ask about the starter kit. Let me know if you're a demonstrator. And we're going to make 2 cards, and we're going to do some talking. So, and let me see what's here. Let me just put that aside. I had a little bit of a scare right before I came upstairs. I had fixed some lunch and then came upstairs, and I was in the elevator because I'm using a walker. And anyway, all of a sudden I got almost to the top of the upstairs where my craft room is and where the bedrooms are, some of the bedrooms are. And there was a huge clunk, like something broke in the elevator. Hello, Linda. Good to see you from Pennsylvania today. So you're on the Eastern time zone too. So I'm in the elevator, and all of a sudden there was this big crash, like something broke. And I'm sure something has broken. Anyway, it was about this far. I was still able to get out. I was able to open the door, the gate and the door. And I was able to step up the step. Anyway, so we have to call the elevator company, and now I'm going to have to I just can use my walking sticks upstairs. So my husband carried my walker downstairs because that's where I use it the very most. Anyway, now my eye is starting to water. I've got something in it all of a sudden. Anyway, so that was my little scare this afternoon. I thought, I'm going to be trapped in the elevator, and there's not going to be anyone to get me out. Anyway, but I'm out, so we're doing okay. I'm going to just tell you a little bit. We're gonna do some questions and answers. We're gonna talk about why we should buy the starter kit, or why you might think about it. Maybe you've thought about it. We're gonna do a little bit of talking today as I'm crafting, and then we're gonna open it up at the end to all kinds of questions. So please type in your questions. Another person from Wisconsin, hey Shar, good to see you this afternoon. So I don't know if you girls know each other. There's Mary Ellen, Ryan, and you're from Montana. And my eyes are watering like crazy all of a sudden. Oh my goodness. It's always something when we go live. Okay, let's turn the camera down. We're going to do some stamping first, and then we'll get to our questions and answers. So please ask any questions that you'd like about, I'm going to tell you my story. And, oh, thank you for sharing. You're so sweet, Char. Appreciate that a lot. I'm going to share my story and tell you some advantages and perks of being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, too. If you've ever thought about it, this is the perfect time to join. Right now we have the celebration. We have 6 more days of celebration. Oh, my goodness. I always hate it when it comes to an end. It always does. But this has been such a super one. There's so many great products. These are all available. Plus, Stampin' Up! Added some more things about 2 weeks ago, too. So there's a lot more. Every time you buy something for $50, you get to choose one. If you spend $100 in shopping, you get 2 items or a larger. Hey, Jolynn, where are you from? You're from Pennsylvania? Okay. Oh, great. Super. Now, my vision is a little bit blurry because something is in my eye. This is a little tricky. Okay, we're going to put the camera down, and we're going to see. So close your eyes for a moment. We're going to see if we can do this. I'm trying a different camera mount today. So we'll see how this all works. We're going to see how that goes. Okay. There we go. I'm just trying to tighten this up a little bit. Okay. Let's see what we can. Hey, Jean. Good. So good to see you. Let's see if I can see a few of the comments. These are some cards that are going to be my next class. I just said, hey, Ann Bowman. Good to see you. Oh, goodness. Ann was here last week. She's from upstate New York. We were roommates in college more than 50 years ago. Barb from Oregon. Alrighty. Anyway, this is my class that's coming up. These are just a couple. We have 6 projects that are coming up. That'll be for next Saturday's card kit to go. It's called Lovely and Sweet and Notes of Nature. It's a mega suite in the catalog. So this is just for me to line up the video. So we're going to start. I'm going to pick these up. This is a perfect time to be ordering. If you know you're taking some classes or if you want to take some classes, this is the perfect time to order this last week so you get the extra benefits of being during celebration. We're going to be using these pretty gems. They're called bright and shiny, or adhesive backed shiny sequins. They're Granny Apple and Daffodil and orange, I guess. That's sort of a pumpkin pie and berry burst. We're going to make a card this morning, it's an afternoon class, isn't it? We also, oops, I just dropped something on the floor. We're going to put that over there. We're going to be, one of the biggest advantages of being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator is getting to pre-order. So you get a whole extra month of pre-order. And all of the products that I'm using today are not in catalogs. They're all online, and we demonstrators get to order those in advance. Now, March 5th, all of this will be available to all customers. So if you are a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you get to get those now. If you would like to get those things now, you can join Stampin' Up! And then, oops, let me see if I made that even more crooked than it was. Anyway, I want to show you these pretty glimmer papers that we're going to be using too. There's purple, this like a Highland Heather and an old olive, and this is some petal pink. This is an online exclusive. It's 12 by 12 and I've cut it in half. Okay, here we go. And now let's see, we're gonna set this. The nice thing about both of the cards that we're making today is they show the inside of the designer paper. It's one of my favorite types of cards to make. It's just easy and fast and so pretty always. And it shows the front of the card and the inside of the card. And we're going to be doing 2 different cards today. There are a couple different ways you can do these. I've done them for many, many years, and this new paper, this Zinna paper, really lends itself very well to making one of these cards. Okay, it's a 12 by 12 package of paper. So this is what it looked like before I cut it. It looked like this. Big sheet of paper, and I cut it right down. Oh, I actually cut it right down the middle at 6 inches, right where that white space is. I cut it, and now I can get 6 cards out of this. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that in just a second. We're going to use our paper trimmer. We're going to start, and I do have all these measurements typed up and everything, so at the end of the video, I will post all of these. We're going to take we have a 5.5 by 8.5, just a basic card, front card like this, a front folding card. And you don't have to do it this way, but this is the way I prefer to do it. I have it already scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to cut off 3 inches. This is one of the best. I've made these cards probably for 15 years. And I'm going to actually put my score line on the 1 1/4. And then I'm going to cut off. I want this spine, I want that spine to be 1 1/4 inches wide. And then I'm going to be able to use a 1-inch piece of glimmer paper on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off 3 inches. And I'm going to save that for some other parts of this. So there we have it, like that. And just set that aside for a moment and give this a good bone folding. You want to get that a really nice crease to it. And now we're going to, oops, I've got a lot of things crooked here. There we go. There's our host code for February. I'm going to cut this designer paper now. So what I'm going to do is cut it 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to put that right there. So you can either take it, it's going to be just a plain, if I do a 4 inches, then I can get 6 card fronts out of this. So I'm going to save that. I could do 2 more right there. Okay, and now it needs to be 5 1/4. So I can either cut off some at the bottom or I could cut off some at the top. And I want to leave that white up on top. So I'm going to cut off a little bit right here along the bottom. And this is a great thing you can use for the inside too if you want. So there's my card front, and it's 4 inches by 5 1/4. This designer paper does all the work by itself basically. So now what we're going to do is we're going to slide this inside. I'm going to put this right here so you can see that. Okay, now we're going to take some adhesive. And I'm just going to put my adhesive right here, right along the edge. And you could actually make this piece 4 1/4. Then it would come out to the edge. However, I did not want to do that because then you can't get as many cards from the piece of designer paper. So what I like to do, the way I like to do it is I like to leave a 1/4 inch border around the edge like that. And then I close it just like that. And it's that simple. Now we're going to take our glimmer paper. This is some of the online exclusives. And I've cut 2. You tell me, do you want me to use the purple one like that? Or should I use the green one? I used the green one before, like this. You could use, you can do embossing or anything else that you want on this edge. You could use a piece of designer paper. You could put something else there too, like that. That's my envelope. What do you think? Do you think purple, green, Jean, Lisa, purple. Hey, Lisa, Terry says purple. It is beautiful, Deborah. The designer paper is gorgeous, for sure. Okay, well, we're going to wait with this. I'm going to let you figure that out, okay? And we have an inside piece, and it's 3 3/4 by 5, and I've written a note to myself to stamp my flowers and my words first because I might forget otherwise, and the words that we're going to use are going to be different. Now that little piece that we cut off, I could use at the bottom like this. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Or we could turn it over like that. So we'll do that at the end, okay? So let's do our stamping, and we're going to put that over there, and you're still telling me, do you want purple? What? Yeah, you're no problem to be late, Carla. Love the green, Jeannie. Yes, Jeannie, you're a demonstrator. You're on my team, so you can definitely get this paper. I would get it soon because February 29th is the last day of celebration. And let's see, let's bring in our, so this is the stamp set that we're using today. It's called Simply Zinna. I've made a lot of cards already with it. It's gorgeous. It's a bundle. I think it's $51 or $52. It cuts out some of the designer paper flowers. It cuts out other, you can make zinnias, but we all love zinnias. Sending flowers and thinking of you. Words fail to express my gratitude. Thank you so much. We also have a great embossing folder. Look at this. It's a Zinna 3D. It's very pretty. We're not using it today, but we could have. I could have cut this into a strip and used it along the edge like that. That would be very pretty too. So you could do that. That's another possibility. Anyway, it's a great set. We are going to use the inside. It's going to be a, let's see, thank you so much. It's going to be a thank you, so a million thanks. I want to show you something. I guess I thought I was doing a birthday. I'm not though. I'm not doing a birthday. Oh, that's on the other one. That's on the other one. That's a birthday. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. The other one is a birthday card, so we'll do that. This one's going to be a thank you. And we're just going to, where is my stamp? And no, I guess I didn't mount it. Forgot to do that. So that's all right. No problem. Thank you so much. Here's my stamp. And I'm going to get a block. We're going to mount this. I'm just going to line it up here. If I had my glass mat, one of the greatest things is right now we can get a glass mat studio, and it is it comes with our starter kit. Just coming up here to get some olive ink, and we could do, you know what, let's do it. Let's see, how many of you, let's see, what are we thinking? Purple, either will do. Purple. You know what? I think I'm going to change my mind. We're going to stamp in purple. The gorgeous grape. Let me see if I can find my gorgeous grape. Redland Heather. I don't see my gorgeous grape anywhere. Well, let's see. One's here. There it is. It's in the wrong stack, but not a problem. We're going to use, I think we'll use gorgeous grape, because I think we probably have more of the purples than, I'm not sure yet, but we'll look and see. I know some people, you can't read the comments, but others, you can see some comments. Okay, we're going to do thank you so much in purple. There we go. We're going to stamp that in purple. And we'll do that. We're going to do another one in green, in the old olive. I'm going to close my ink pad first and clean my purple grape off. And we're going to stamp that. There we go. Oop, that one's a little crooked. I better bring it a little closer to me. I don't want to get my head in there. There we go. That's a little better. I don't like it as much when the dots are on the other side, but I'll just sort of take it like this. and you won't be able to tell that it's that easy. Okay, this is going to be a thank you. The next card is going to be a birthday. And okay, now we're going to bring our, and we're going to stamp, we're going to do, okay, that one's for that card. So we're going to put this on the inside now. We're going to add this piece of the zinnia paper right along the bottom. I think we'll just do it like that. And we're going to just cut off a little bit of it. So pretty, isn't it? What a nice look to it. Such a pretty pattern, very bright, spring-like. We all are looking forward to spring. About the time in Montana, there hasn't been much snow this winter. About the time that we get back in April, it'll probably snow like crazy, where the rest of the country will be getting warm. Anyway, there we have it. Isn't that pretty to show both sides of the DSP? Let's look at, which do you want? Hey, Lisa, okay, Apple, let's see. I think I see a few more purples, so I think we're going to give it a purple shot, and we'll do that. That was just 1 inch by 5 1/4. We'll save this one for another one. We'll just do 2 so you can see the difference. And our card will be close to being finished. I love this. Anytime I make this is one of those cards that I don't even need to look at measurements because I make these so often. And but if you cut this 1 inch, then you have to make that 3/4. So I like having it 1 1/4. I just think it makes a lot of sense. Okay, and now we're going to add our purple right there, like that, and we're going to add some dimensionals to that. So how many of you on here are demonstrators? How many of you signed up years ago during Celebration? I signed up almost 12 years ago. I'm going to be having my 12-year anniversary with Stampin' Up coming up in a couple more weeks. I'm going to maybe put that right there. One of the best decisions I have ever made. I have to tell you, I started stamping way back like in 90. I started scrapbooking first. Our youngest son was in high school. He was a senior in high school, and I did, picture albums for the other kids, Sarah and Andrew. And when John came along, the third one, I just was so busy. I just didn't do much. And our son John was over and he had his girlfriend over. It was at the beginning of his senior year of high school. And he said to his friend Jenny, he said, "Do you want to see my picture album?" And she said, "Oh, sure, that would be fun." And so they sat down and he took out his album. And then he said, "This is where my life ends at 18 months. That's how much I had done. I had not put he was 18 years old and I had not done anything in his book since he was 18 months. There is our card, all finished. Anyway, we'll leave that open to write. And there is our other card. Anyway, so I started scrapbooking. I started with Creative Memories, and then I did some Stamping Up with a demonstrator in Farmington, Missouri. And I had some parties. I didn't do a lot of stamping. I did more scrapbooking where you just made albums, so I made a lot of albums. But about 2 years later, I started doing more stamping and really loved it. I love it a lot. And then after I was a school teacher, so there's that first card, all finished. After I retired from teaching 7th and 8th grade, and here's the envelope to go with it. Which do you like better? Do you like the purple or the green? Sort of the purple brings out the flowers there, and the greens bring out the leaves. But it's sort of a fun card, isn't it? Very easy. Thank you so much, Char. Appreciate that. Remember, all the measurements I'll have all those at the end. It takes me about 5 or 10 minutes to get that on the website, and then it takes me about an hour to upload to YouTube, and they'll be there. Okay? So the next card, we are going to use the same set, but we're also going to be using this sweetly scripted set with all kinds of pretty words on it. This is going to be a birthday card, so we're going to stamp that one next. And the card that we're making is this, and I'm going to go on with my story in a minute. Here's my little envelope that's all decorated. So we are going to do some coloring, and I'll be able to do a lot more talking on this one. I get my little bits and pieces out here. Can set that aside. Okay. We are going to be stamping. Let's do our stamping first. So this is the card. This one I did in Bubble Bath. The next one we're going to do in the Berry Burst. There's so many colors in this beautiful paper. Again, you can pre-order this paper when you join Stampin' Up! Now. And that's the inside. That's a new set too. I love that script. Anyway, okay, let's put that aside. And here we go again. Let me bring out all these pieces. Okay, set that over there so it doesn't get in our way. We have a strip that I did, a 1-inch strip of 1 by 5 1/4. Our Berry Burst is going to be 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to cut off 3 inches. And then I have a piece that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I have a piece of white for the inside. I probably didn't mark this one, but it's 3 3/4 by 5. It's a basic measurement. Okay, and let me see. Oh, I did measure it. I did mark it. It was a different one. I had 2 of them in there, so that's that. Okay, so we're going to take our paper trimmer. Take our paper trimmer, and I've already scored this at 4 1/4. It's a basic card. And now I'm going to cut off. I want to leave 1 1/4 inches. This is probably one of my all-time favorite ways to make a card. And I hope you will do this, make some of these too. There we go. I always like to save this for punching. I put that, sometimes I'll put a design on the front. Okay, and there we have that. That's all we need to do with the trimmer. This is one of the best trimmers that I think has ever been made, the Stampin' Up! Trimmer. I love the cut and emboss machine, this trimmer, and the Simply Scored, all those tools. I love the Stampin' Up! Company. There are more than 55,000 demonstrators throughout the world. And one of the greatest things about being a demonstrator too is that you get to meet people and you talk with them online and you get to be part of a global community. Okay, we're going to add our glimmer paper to our edge like that. And this is the designer paper. Isn't that pretty? It's got some bubble bath. It's got petal pink. It's got the yellows, and it's got flirty flamingo in there. And there's the other side of it. So it'll show just like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my adhesive in like that. And if you can think of some questions that you'd like to ask about being a demonstrator, please ask away, and maybe some of you will answer. And then I'll try to, at the end, I'll come back and talk about it also. Try to answer more of the questions. Okay, I'm going to line that up so I have 1/4 inch, and then I'm just going to close it like that. That's how fast that is. Okay, and then we're going to have our inside. We're going to stamp on this. This is our outside, and we're going to this time I used the scalloped contours on this one. This time I'm going to use the what's this one called? This little one. It came up this last year in our catalog. I can't think of the name of it, but anyway, country corners or something like that, I think it is. We're going to bring in a strip of paper for our words, and there's our strip, and we're going to do our inside of our card. And so First thing we're going to do, this is 3, that inside is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. I'm going to bring in my big stamp with Black Momento, and you've got a lot of things here. Okay, and whenever you have a big stamp like this, I like to ink upside down. I'm going to move these aside for a second. We're going to bring in our grid paper. One of the nice things about that Glass Mat Studio, which I have in Montana, I do not have it here. It's quite heavy, and Terry and I flew here, and I had to ship a lot of things, but I couldn't ship that glass mat, and I've really missed it. It's great for measuring, lining things up. Anytime I have a big stamp, though, I like to stamp upside down. And then I'm going to, on the grid paper, I'm going to line it up again. So, and then I'm going to stamp it like that. Give it a good press because it's a big stamp. It's a red rubber stamp with a cling, so it has foam on it. It does not need, you don't need the piercing mat for that. Okay, I'm going to just give that a clean with my chamois. And that's good to go now. And we're going to set that aside. We're going to do the inside of the card with the birthday one. And again, I'm going to line that up. And look how big this is. Happy birthday goes. It would be perfect for a horizontal cover. We're going to do it vertically. That's why it's very important to do it before I put it inside. Happy birthday. Oh, it's a little bit crooked there. There we go. Isn't that neat? Love this stamp. I love, I'll show you what else is in this. It's called Sweetly Scripted. It's happy anniversary, congratulations, happy birthday, a million thanks, speedy recovery, and save the date. Really nice set. Okay, and I'll have all those numbers below. Okay, and we're going to add a little flower here. So we're going to put a little flower to color on the side. We're going to put it maybe right, we're going to put it right there, like that. It's like a big zinnia. And we have one more thing to stamp, and that's our phrase for the outside, the birthday sentiment. Let's see, sending flowers and thinking of you. So we're going to send a little bouquet of flowers for someone's birthday. Okay. There we go. And that's just great. So that's Black Momento ink, and we can put that aside. Now we can finish our card. We're going to do some coloring, and we can do some more talking. So we're going to put our white inside in there first. We're going to get our blends out. Okay. And it's not a pretty birthday sentiment. And then this is going to go on the front like this. We're going to color this, and then this is going to go over this like that. And I'm going to trim these edges. I'm just going to slant them up, just slant with my snips. One of my favorite ways to do a banner, like that. Just move these out of the way for you. We've got sort of a mess going on here. All these measurements, so you'll see those on my page later on. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I colored this. Bring my blends in. And you know, one thing I like to do during celebration, I've been restocking some of my blends. I really like to, during celebration, I like to really, I like to earn free things. I earn things that, you know, a lot of things, and then I can pass those on to my customers later on throughout the year. Okay, now let's color this. So I'm going to, I'm just going to bring in an envelope here just so that, so right there, so you can see. I don't want to get it on my mat. We're going to, I've got my daffodil yellows. I don't think I need all of these. I'm going to use just the brightest one probably for this part of it. And I just got some brand new yellow. Other yellows were wearing, they were getting sort of, you know, actually in Montana, when I have classes in person, sometimes people use my markers and they, you know, they get a lot of use. Okay, I'm going to use Granny Apple Green. I did use, where's my other card? On this one I used Old Olive, but this one I'm going to use Granny Apple. So, and I'm going to start. Okay, so wherever I have little hash marks like this, Stampin' Up artists, the design team, they've already given us hints as to where it's going to be slightly darker. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to start with my dark. Some people like to start with light. I like to do dark, but it doesn't make any difference. Anyway, back to how I started. So I used to have parties at my house. I had a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I had one when we had a ranch in Montana, so we always went to Montana in the summer, and I had a Stampin' Up demonstrator there. I would have a party, and and then back in Missouri, when we lived in Missouri, every winter I would have a party too. I have some pretty good sized parties, but my demonstrators never asked me to join, and I just loved it. I was so addicted to it, and still am, but no one ever asked me to join. And after I finished retiring from teaching school, I taught scrapbooking and stamping classes at a local store in Farmington, Missouri, and did that. But I always loved. I still loved the Stampin' Up stamps the best of all. Anyway, I've always enjoyed the way they were designed and the products and things like that, and the color coordination is huge. Anyway, so I did that for a couple years, and then we moved. Our grandchildren started being born, and they were our two sons moved to Bozeman, Montana, and we had a ranch in Ennis, Montana, and we went there in the summer. We went back to Farmington, Missouri. Anyway, our grandson Jack, some of you have seen pictures of him. He helps me a lot of times. He's 13 now. Anyway, so 13 years ago, our two grandsons, JP and our daughter Sarah's son, JP, and Jack, our son Andrew's son, were born. And when I saw those babies, I thought, I don't want to go back to Missouri and have these babies out here. Now I'm using a dark flirty flamingo, and then I'm going to fill it in with bubble bath. Okay, and let's see if you can hit this. How are we doing here? Anyway, so I said to my husband, I don't know, I want to stay out here and see these babies. I didn't want to be so far away, so we looked for a condo in town, and we ended up moving from Missouri and living in a townhouse in Bozeman, Montana. And anyway, that was great. We did all that. And now I'm going to fill this in with the lightest color, just sort of making little circles to blend it, leaving a little bit of white along the edges. Anyway, so then I thought, I would do everything I could to see these babies. Oh my goodness. But, I don't think my daughter-in-laws, they were busy, and they didn't want me hanging around with the babies every single day. They wanted a life of their own too. So I didn't know, and I really missed my stamping. I still had a craft room, but I didn't have any people to stamp with. And so what I did one day, was a sunny day in January or February, I drove 2 hours away to a stamping store, and there weren't many left at that point anymore. There used to be some in Bozeman, but I went to Helena, and I talked to the store owner, and she gave me the names of some people that were in Bozeman who stamped. And I called the lady, and her name was Joan, and I called her, and she invited me to her monthly stamp club. She was not a demonstrator, but was at her house. So I started going to stamping classes and met a bunch of people, and it was really, really fun. And my demonstrator, Kathy Umba is my upline. She kept asking every month I would put in about like a $75 to $100 order. I just loved everything. Everything was so great. I wanted it all. And if you want it all, that's what you should do, is become a demonstrator and get the discount. And she kept saying you can get, 20% off. I said, oh, it's easier. You just do it. And month after month, and finally she said, well, we could all go to conventions together. It's so much fun, and you meet so many people. You meet other team members, and you just enjoy, and it's great. And so anyway, I finally, at almost the end of March, celebration used to be 3 months, now it's only 2 months, but I joined toward the end of March or middle of March, and I haven't looked back. I have loved it. It's the best decision I have ever made. Not only did I meet a lot of people, I've met a lot of people around the whole United States. I've met people, I'm going to add a little bit of Winka Stella now, people around the world. On some of my incentive, I've earned 9 incentive trips with a lot of work, but you don't have to do any of that. You can join and become a demonstrator and get the 20% discount and be a happy shopper and a happy stamper. And there we have it, all colored. Isn't that pretty with that little bit of shine on there? A little bit of blending. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I think it looks pretty good. And let's find our card now. Where did I put? There we go. Anyway, so I saved money at first, and I thought, I've always been a teacher. I'm going to use one of my big dimensionals that I cut up. I'm going to put it on the back. I love teaching. I always have. And I thought, well, I'm going to teach classes here. I used to teach those at a store in Missouri when we lived there. So I started teaching classes, and it's just grown from there. I have a very big studio and a classroom in Montana. Here in Florida, I have a little studio, and I do everything to go, everything kit to go. And of course, then when we had COVID hit, I learned how to do Facebook Lives. It was not easy for me. It's still not easy, but I love it. I just love it. There we go. There's that. And now let's put some gems on. And then we're going to color our inside too. Anyway, it was super. One of the best decisions that I have ever made in my entire life was saying yes to the starter kit. Just really a good decision. I have enjoyed it. I'm going to use, I'm going to put a small one up here. Maybe right there like that. Oh, I don't know. Let's see once. I don't like that. I'm gonna take this one off down there and put it right there. That's better. Okay, now we're gonna do, my biggest regret is that I didn't join back in 1995 or 96. Okay, we're gonna color this a little bit, and we're gonna use a little bit of the dark daffodil right there, and some, let's see, one's dark lemon lolly. Just add a little bit right there. I always like to use the dark colors, the darkest colors, wherever the those little hash marks, the design, the shadows that Stampin' Up artists have given us. This is a beautifully designed stamp. There we go. And I'm going to take my light lemon lolly, love that word, lemon lolly, and I'm going to color that in. Just like that. It probably would take a little bit more time if I weren't on camera. There we go, like that. That'll work with that. If you still have that Mango Melody from, I think this is what that is. Yeah, Mango Melody that retired. This would be a pretty one. Let's see what that looks like added in there like that. Oh, I think that's good. You can always go back and add more of the dark, which I'm doing right now. I like that. Okay, there we go. Just a little bit like that. And our card is all finished. A birthday card, sending flowers and thinking of you. Here's the other one. Which do you like better? Do you like this scalloped or do you like this countryside, whatever it's called, countryside something or other? Countryside corners, I believe it is. Okay, which is your favorite of those? Okay, so we have several different cards today. What did I do with the first two? I don't know. Well, it's like this one. I had another one. I did that one for a swap, so I had plenty of those. Alrighty. Which do you like better, the countryside corners or the scallop? Which is your favorite? Alrighty, I'm going to, now, if you have some questions, please ask. Now, let's turn back up. Closer, there we go. Oh, thank you so much, Gina. I appreciate that. Appreciate you saying that. Okay, now I'm going to have to, see if I can get my computer here to look at these questions and comments. You like the scallop, but both, Teresa, you like the scallop, but both are pretty. Carla said, I like both. Beautiful cards. Thank you, Brenda. Lisa said, Corinne's Stampin' Up parties are amazing. I hope to have a retreat this year in Montana. I was just there yesterday. Jeannie Williams, North Carolina. Margaret is from North Carolina. Eileen is from in the Denver airport. Oh, good. Some of you are demonstrators. What do you think are the biggest advantages of being a demonstrator? First of all, this is why join. First of all, I told you, you get 20% discount. That's a big one for most people. You know, you can save a lot of money. You can save $20 on a $100 order, so it's a great thing. And as you move up a little bit on your rank, as you advance in title, once you get to be Bronze Elite, you get 25% off. So that's really pretty sweet. Let's see, what's it say? I can't read that comment. What would it look like? Martina said, what would it look like with stars on the outside and the flowers on the inside? I don't know. Thank you, Julie. Jolene said scallops. Anne Louise said scallops. Anyway, you get an idea. We have so many wonderful labels that you can I have things pre-cut and I just go to my drawer and pull them out. Okay, so the starter kit, it's 20% off. It's $99. It's always the best kit and best deal in the whole catalog. Always, always, always. Right now during Celebration, it's a little sweeter. You're right, Beth. That's probably my favorite thing is the pre-order. But right now, what was I just saying? So you get the 20% discount. And my other favorite thing, I'm going to go to Beth's comment, you get to pre-order. That's what I love to do. I love to be able to pre-order all these new products before everyone else in the country or the world gets to do that. So all demonstrators get to do that 1 month early. We also get to, like when a brand new catalog comes out, we have our new annual catalog that's going to retire at the end of April. And then in May, the new catalog will come out. We get to pre-order a whole month in advance, which is really terrific. And now with these online exclusives, we get to do that 4 times a year. They come out 4 different times and once every quarter, and we get to pre-order more often then too. We get to swap. My team is called Simply Creative Girls, and I certainly welcome men too. We'd have to change our name a little bit, but it's Simply Creative is the name of our group. And we have a Facebook private page, and we have incentives, like we have team meetings at Zoom, team meetings. I have 37 team members around the whole United States. I have some in Montana. I have some on the West Coast, some on the East Coast. It's really, really fun to get to meet everyone. And one of the great things about the pandemic was that it taught most of us how to do Zoom. So that's really fun too. So we have a team meeting coming up this Wednesday. You meet people. You meet people all over the United States, and sometimes you get to go to conventions and you get to meet people in Like this year, there's a convention in Houston. I am not going to that. This is my first one that I missed, but I'm just still not quite able to do that after my back surgery. But most of the time, I have gone to all of these things, and it's so much fun. Right now, we get, so $99 is always the starter kit. You get to choose $125 worth of product, but it's sweeter now because you get $125 of anything you want. And then you also get to choose whether you want to get an extra $30 or would you like to get the glass mat? No, where did I put my paper about the glass mat? The glass mat studio is amazing. It comes with this big glass. It's a tempered glass. It comes with a chamois, and it comes with this silicone little thing for like mixing paint or holding your ink pads, your spots and things like that. I have really enjoyed mine the month that I used it, and I will look forward to going back to it. Right now, you can choose that. It's a $60 value, and you can get that for free along with $125 worth of products. You don't get any celebration items with this because this is a great deal just on its own. Oh, good. I'm so glad you love it, Martina. I do too. I'm really pleased that you got it when you did. We demonstrators were able to pre-order the glass mat. That was sort of fun. That's how we got to get it. Anyway, so we, oh, was I saying? I don't know. I've lost my train of thought. So you get $125 worth of free. You get $125 worth of products. Plus, you get to choose either $30 extra or the glass mat kit. You also get a paper pumpkin. You get catalogs that they send you, business supplies and things like that. And then once you get your demonstrator number, you can order on your own. You can, you're set up to order and get your discount. And then you can, if this last week, if you signed up soon, you would be able to order and get some more things at a discount. Plus, you would get the celebration items from the catalog too. So anyway, what are the obligations? You're saying like, how much is it? What do you have? How much do you have to spend? And maybe you don't want to sell to other people. Well, you don't have to. You can be your own best customer. And, I was my own best customer for a long time, for many, many months before I started teaching classes. And I'm still a very good customer for myself because I buy a lot of stuff and I get that discount every month. And that discount grows as your title gets higher and higher too. There aren't any obligations. You have every 3 months, there's a $300 minimum. In the very beginning, when you first sign up, you get 6 months. So, excuse me. If you sign up now in February, March would be like a free month, and you would have April, May, June. You would have all those months to put in $300 order or to sell $300. You can do as little. This is what I tell my team members. You can do as little or as much as you want. You can teach classes, type, do all the projects and kits and things like that, or you can just buy for yourself and create, enjoy. There's no obligation. If you decide you don't want to be a demonstrator anymore, you can't meet that $300, you can just go back to being a regular happy shopper again, and I'd be happy to place your orders and take your orders for you. So there's no obligation, no punishment. You can always rejoin at any time. Lots of times someone will stop being a demonstrator for a while, and maybe a year later they'll rejoin, and that's perfectly, Stampin' Up allows that. So that's a great thing to do. Let me see what else. So, you can do as little or as much as you'd like. You can keep it, you can shop for yourself, or you can turn your hobby into a jobby if you want to make some extra money. You don't even have to do a lot. Sometimes you can just sell to your friends and your family, but in an email, and you could meet that quota. So you can, if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, that's a great way to help with your monthly quotas too. So How about some questions? Are there some questions that you want to ask? Let me see if I can look on my iPad. It's a little easier. Okay. Let me see once. How many of you out there, chime in if you are a demonstrator, and what are you happy about? Oh, Beth, you're casing my card for later today. That's great. And I'm glad you're a demonstrator, Beth, and you're sure casing means copy and share everything. Copy and share, and that's what we do. We copy and share things. Grace said purple. She liked the purple. It was elegant. All right. Martina said you signed up over 6 years ago. And Martina, I'm so glad you're on my team. I'm so glad you did sign up 6 years ago. And you can get, Carla, you've been a demonstrator for 10 years. Carla is one of my longest running demonstrators. Deborah says she's a hobby demonstrator. Great. And Lisa, you're a demonstrator. Diane, I don't know. Jeannie's a demonstrator. I'm so happy to have so many of you on here. Debbie said she liked purple. Lisa said she liked purple. I'm so glad so many of you joined in. And do you have any other questions you'd like to ask me? If you would like to talk about it, text me, call me, email me, and I will be happy. I don't have any company right now. Last week we were inundated with so many friends and family here over a 5 or 6 day period. But we have no one here right now. It's just my husband and myself. Munch said, Munch is, she's a demonstrator on my team. Cindy is her real name. Munch is her nickname. She's a hobby demonstrator, but she sells occasionally to friends. Yeah, and that's what you do. You just, maybe once in a while, there's a great deal and you say, oh, you know, maybe the kit collections are great things to sell to your friends too. They're also great to give as gifts. So I'm glad you joined. I'm so glad. I've not met all of my demonstrators in person. About half of them I've not ever met. They live in North Carolina, Texas, South Carolina, Northern Montana, California. I've had 3 new demonstrators in the last month from California. And it's, you know, it's like a snowball. It rolls. You tell a friend and they join with you. Maybe 2 of you would like to join. I've even had people who've never stamped before join my team. One of my best demonstrators, Jan, lives in eastern Montana, and she had never picked up a stamp, never held a stamp. And she called me one day and said she wanted to learn how to stamp and be a demonstrator. And she bought the Stampin' Up starter kit at the very last day of March several years ago, and she signed up, and she hasn't looked back since. So anyway, I hope you'll think about it. Aren't you glad that so many of you are demonstrators? And if you aren't, I hope you'll think about it. You have 6 more days. You can sign up anytime. I'm happy to have people all of the time. Yes, thumbs up, hearts, share the videos, share this with your friends. If you know someone who likes to craft, share the video. Maybe they're just waiting to be asked. That was me. I was waiting to be asked. And then some of my early team members will tell you, I was afraid to ask people. I didn't want to be pushy. Well, I'm not afraid to ask anymore. It's almost selfish if you don't ask someone, because you want to share the joy of and the great value. It's such a deal. Just like when you go to Sam's Club or Costco, don't you sign up, become a member? You get a discount that way, or whatever some of the other clubs are. It's just a discount. That's what it is. So, greatest company ever. I just love everything about Stampin' Up, and I know you will too. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it, and I'll be back at my normal Tuesday morning this next week, and I will see you then, hopefully. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Bye.